Rob, thank you for joining us. It feels like a while since we've had a game. We've got a big one this weekend against Burton. Can I get your thoughts out of that one?
Yeah, no, it's nice to have the break. I think it was much needed. Obviously, the halfway point of the season as well, so you get a chance to reflect and sort of make plans going forward into sort of attacking the second half of the season. And yeah, obviously starts with a big game at home. So one that we want to attack in every way and get 3 points and start sort of the second half of the season well. We know we've got a tough run coming up after Saturday, but you can only control. You want to win every game, and you can only control what's in front of you. So we need to attack Burton in every way we can. Get back with obviously. Over the Christmas period with the injuries and people missing, it really threw us a little bit, not really having any wide players, etc. So we had to adapt a little bit and get back to sort of what we've done well with Addy and Harry hopefully being back fit as well. So just a bit of a reset and kick on again, because I think first half of the season has probably shown us things that we can do really well, good results, good performances, and things that we need to improve on. So it gives us a good starting block to kick on again and take our levels up.
Yeah, is this sort of mini break that we've had, again, feels like we've had a few of those recently. Is it given a chance for some of the lads that were sort of struggling and perhaps needed a bit of a rest? Has that helped in any way?
Yeah, there's a lot of lads, obviously, as you do, it happens at every football club, and a lot of lads playing with injuries and niggles, and obviously missing a few. Obviously losing Addy and Harry and Darcy sort of limited our options in terms of wide players, so having them back is good. We'll have to see sort of how everyone is over the next couple of days. There's still a few question marks on a few things, but no, the squad's definitely looking healthier in terms of that, and bodies and numbers, so it's good for competition. It keeps things more honest. And I think, I think it's a good term, a reset and mindset in terms of who's ready to attack the rest of the season and how we go about it. Because I think when we've kept things simple and we've done things well, we've been really effective. So we just need to make sure we understand who we are, what we're good at, what our strengths are, and we need to stick to that, because, like we said, we've had some brilliant moments first half of the season. We just need to be more consistent with them.
Yeah, just purely based on where obviously the two teams are, and obviously we're on the other side of Christmas now. This will be billed as a big game, but equally there is still a lot of football to be played, and perhaps we may have the upper hand on some teams later in the season, considering how many postponements we've had. So we're going to have some more games once we know what everybody else's results are. But does this feel like a huge game inside the dressing room and at the training ground, or is it just one of those normal ones that we'll sort of be approaching as we normally do?
Yeah, I think it's two things, isn't it? Obviously, when you play teams in and around you, it obviously feels like it's bigger, but ultimately we should attack to win every game. I think, other than a couple of instances, I think we've probably been competitive and been able to probably be disappointed in games we haven't won against bigger teams. And there's only a couple of games I can probably honestly say where I didn't think where we didn't affect the game, whereas every other game I felt like we've attacked it well. We've had created opportunities, we've shown really good glimpses, we've picked up points, we've picked up results, and other times we've been unlucky not to. But I think the big thing is the consistency. I know I keep saying it and people are probably bored of it, but you can't get too high and too low, because there's 23 games. There's my maths might be wrong, 69 points to play for, and yeah, as much as you want to win every game, especially at home against teams in and around you, 1,000,000% you want to win them games. But we've got to look at the big picture in terms of there's still half a football season to be played, and a lot of winnable games, and a lot of games where you're not expected to win that you'll win, and vice versa. So as long as we're consistent and we get back to showing what we've done probably the last 3 months. I think the Christmas period is always a tricky one because it condenses the schedule, and obviously we've only been able to train one day. The schedule was unkind to us. It sort of threw us off a little bit, but only for 1 or 2 games. And I think we need to remember where we was at before, after Birmingham, and then 7 days later there was probably a bit of a negative vibe around the club, which is fair when results don't go your way, when you're in such a brilliant position against Exeter, and obviously a disappointing start against Barnsley, even though we was excellent in the last sort of 35-40 minutes. I think we just need to get back to where we was at before, and I think we will be, because up until that point for 2-3 months we was excellent, to be honest with you. So if we get back to where we were there, then we're going to be absolutely fine. And I think the big thing for me is making sure that whoever steps on the pitch is ready to carry that momentum forward. And we've seen the league now, we've seen enough of every team, we've pretty much played everyone once. I think Stevenage is the only one. Yeah, so I think the players now have an understanding, and any fear or trepidation should be gone, and we need to go and attack it, because that's how we need to go and get the points. It doesn't matter what anyone else does, it's about what we do.
yeah, you mentioned there, obviously we're trying to move away from that negative vibe. What can help that is winning football matches, especially at home. With the postponements that we've had, we actually haven't played a home game since Birmingham before Christmas, which is absolutely crazy. So a win at home in front of those crowds, and as what you say is being billed in some ways as a big game, will do wonders, won't it?
Yeah, 100%. Winning's massive in football, and winning gives you that it's what you're in it for, isn't it? Ultimately, and I think the big thing with the identity of this club, though, is that it's about how you win. I think last season into this season, it's not just been the wins we've got, but it's about how we've got them wins. And I think the big thing for me is if we get our performance levels right, the wins will consistently come, and we saw that. We saw that before Christmas, and even with the defeat to Birmingham, even Peterborough to a certain degree, then performance levels will consistently get you results. And obviously we did fall off it against Leighton and Barnsley. So look, I just want the performance levels to be back to where I expect them to be and where they need to be. And if we get to that point, then I have every confidence that we'll be absolutely fine and we will win more games than we lose. And I think that's been seen. But for me, it's about the mentality. It's about how we are without the ball, definitely how we are with the ball, and simplifying what we've done. Because when we've simplified our press, when we've simplified our play in terms of being brave and playing around presses, then we've been really effective. And I think the players just need to sort of have a deep breath and understand, that we've got a good group here that can be effective, and but we need to be effective together as a club and as a team. And yeah, we can start that on Saturday.
Brilliant. Looking at Burton, you obviously drew 0-0 in November with them. Having looked at them recently, have they changed much since you played them last time?
Yeah, definitely. I think Gary's definitely improved them. They've got good pace up front and in the wide areas now. They still try and play similar type of football. They're always going to try and be aggressive with the ball and move the ball well, which they do. They obviously had a couple of good players that have returned and added to them. And so we know it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be, it's by no means an easy game. I think their position in the league is probably down to the fact that they were managerless for a while, and now they've got a very experienced manager who's had a lot of success and has made them very organised. So they're going to be really difficult to break down. You can see that from their performances against the Huddersfields, etc. So no, it's going to be a really tough game. I think any game in this level is, but what we can't control what Burton do, but we can control what we do, and we need to make sure that we're at it in terms of the way we approach the game and the way we set our standards for the second half of the season.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ronan Darcy had a groin issue. How's that progressing? Yeah,
no, he's getting better. So he's been back in training. We'll have to see how he is, if he's available to be able to start or be on the bench. So that's a positive, because he obviously was struggling with that over Christmas. And obviously having Addy and hopefully Harry back as well. We've got to monitor a couple of others because of knocks and niggles, but hence why the break was probably a good thing for us. But yeah, there's always something that pops up, especially with the amount of games. And obviously coming now, we're going to go into a period where it is thick and fast, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. So we're going to need the whole squad. And I think the biggest thing for me, I've talked to the players about buying into what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. Because I think if you look over the last 3-month period as a whole, and not just a small sample size, the last couple of games, it's been positive. We've got good results against good clubs, and we played some really good football. And we've probably got a lot of compliments for our football from a lot of clubs and a lot of teams. And now we need to turn that and be a bit more ruthless and turn them into points. So the players, for me, they have to take a lot of pride and credit in the fact that they can affect this level in such a positive way. But we need to do that consistently, and we need to do it with the aim of getting 3 points every Saturday, Tuesday, whatever it may be, so we can get ourselves up the table and stay in and around it. Because it's it's a tough league this year, like everyone keeps saying. But I think my big thing is that we have to attack every single game. We have to look to go and score goals. You have to look to be compact and aggressive, because the only way you get out is by putting your best foot forward. You have to put points on the board. It's the only way you get out of these situations. Doesn't matter what anyone else does. We have to be the ones that go and put the points on the board.
Yeah. Transfer windows obviously low, and we've seen 2 leave, including Eddie Beach. Does that make getting another goalkeeper a priority in this window now? Yeah,
we're working on getting another goalkeeper in. Obviously Eddie did great when he played a couple of games, and I think he needs to go and play some games consistently for himself. I know Eddie well anyway from when I was previously with him at Gateshead, so he needs to go and play games. So obviously working in the background to bring someone in to come and give us that. We've had a bit of a strange one this year with goalies, obviously with Jojo going internationals and having a couple of injuries. So we're looking to try and strengthen there, because we need to bring someone in, and then probably like you say, transfer windows open. Obviously the way the club obviously recruits with the data and everything like that, and obviously with myself, like bringing Ben in, so working together to try and make sure that we can add to the squad and make sure we bring players in that are going to affect it and add to the squad. I think there's signing players, but there's signing players for the right reasons and making sure that they come in and have a massive effect. So hopefully there's a few things going on now, and we can look to hopefully make a couple of positive additions.
Yeah, can you just give us a little bit more insight into how it works? Is it the owners work the data, have a list of players, present them to you, you say who you like in that, or do you give them names and they look at the data that way, or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, it's a bit of everything, yeah. Obviously the system's been in place before I come, and it's obviously been very successful with what happened last year and the players we brought in, and yeah, so the likes of Ben Radcliffe, who I worked with previously, you put him forward, and I sort of explained that I have very high hopes for him. I think he can play at a very high level, and that goes against, obviously that probably goes into the system that the club use, and like exactly right, there'll be players that are flagged up and offered and shown, and I'll put my eye over them, and yeah, it's quite an open, honest conversation, which is good, but like recruitment's really tough at any level, and you need to make sure that, especially with the resources we have at this level, unfortunately we are going to be out of reach for some players and some teams, so we just need to make sure that what we do bring in, and when players do come in, that they affect the group not only on the pitch but off the pitch as well. I think it's hugely important that they buy into the culture at the club and what we're trying to do, and the fact that we are trying to punch above our weight in a very tough league against big clubs, but it's a fantastic platform to come into, and it's a fantastic environment. We play good football, so there's a lot to appeal to, and I think that's something that it's quite exciting when we do get players in, that it's something that's we're looking to develop young hungry players who want to kick on and want to come to a place where they can express themselves and be the best version of themselves and play good attacking football, and be brave and back themselves. We want players to come here and show what they can do and showcase themselves and help the team and help the squad.
Yeah, excellent. And saying we're into the second half of the season now, what's your message to the fans going into the second half of the season?
I think it's just keep sticking with us. They've been absolutely brilliant, genuinely. And I get that, I think it'd be fair to say that the Christmas period, probably just knocked us off track a little bit. Whereas before that, I thought we was in a fantastic place. I thought the run up until Birmingham was brilliant. I think every game we was excellent. We gave a brilliant account of ourselves. So pretty much the best part of 2-3 months, and the Christmas periods with the schedule, and then the injuries that we had, just the balance of the team, and the Exeter game obviously finishing the way it did. First 60 minutes we were excellent. There was the setup, the way we played, the way we broke them down, and then obviously it's disappointing to not take the 3 points 100%. And then the Barnsley game, we just didn't give ourselves a chance in the game. We didn't give ourselves a chance, and when we did, the game had gone. Even though we created enough chances at the end, crazily. On the stats, we actually. Not that I'm not huge on stats all the time because it comes with a false one, but in terms of the stats, chances created and everything in possession, we was like above Barnsley, but we didn't believe in ourselves enough at the start of the game to go ahead and do that. So yeah, I think it's just stay on track and try not to take the last couple of weeks and let that sort of discourage what's been some brilliant times. And like Sam said earlier, we just haven't had loads of home games, which is what really helps in terms of getting that advantage and having that crowd behind you. So hopefully with a few more home games coming up against some big teams, big clubs, exciting times as well, because we're getting this is why I want to be in this league, because we want the likes of your Wrexhams, and I know you played them last year, but the so-called bigger clubs with the big budgets and the fan bases come in, and we get to showcase ourselves, because I think when we've done a brilliant job of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Rob.
No worries, thanks.
Antony, thank you for joining us. Obviously, it's been a while since we've spoken to you. You've enjoyed a very successful loan spell away from the club. Firstly, how good is it to be back?
Yeah, really good. Looking forward to it, to be fair. It was always a goal of mine to come back in January. So, really happy to be back, and just want to work hard, and yeah.
Yeah, as far as loan spells go, it was probably one of the most successful ones you can get. I think it's always good when the team that you've joined are really asking you to stay, and obviously some of the fans were gutted online when they seen that you've been recalled. You obviously had a fairly decent start to the season with us. We're featuring in a lot of the cup matches. Do you think the loan came at the right time for you to sort of really get some minutes in for that first part of the season?
I think so. Obviously it was under the previous gaffer, but he showed a lot of faith in me going out on loan and stuff. And to be fair, it was just to get minutes and help Maidstone. They had really good coaching staff there, really pushed me on. It was a really good loan spell. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better club to go to be honest. Really enjoyed it, played well, and it was actually really enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's probably worked, and benefited you in a number of ways, because as you've been performing so well there, you know, as you said, the new gaffer to come in, he would have seen those performances, obviously keeping an eye on the results, and he's given him that thought process to like get you back even earlier than you were planning to come back in January, and you were meant to start that first game you come back. You can't really write it, can you? How unlucky is that?
I know. To be honest, I didn't even know. You know, I messaged my parents. I think we found out maybe at 1:30, so I messaged my parents straight away. I think they were going to make their way down, which was funny. And yeah, it's just one of them ones. I just got to keep working hard, and hopefully the opportunity will come. Whenever we're training and stuff, I just got to show what I can do. And obviously, I was thankful for the opportunity, but I'm sure another one will come, hopefully.
Yeah, as you say, you've now got the rest of the season to sort of, you know, make that impression on the new manager, and obviously with, you know, got a good game to sort of do that. Obviously had a little appearance, didn't you, at Barnsley? So is the aim now just to sort of work your way into the team, get as many minutes as possible?
Yeah, it is. You know, it was a really big moment for me making my League One debut. So, you know, I was really grateful for the gaffer for the opportunity. Obviously coming back from loan, that was always the goal, like I said. But yeah, it is to be honest. Keep working hard and hopefully get another opportunity.
Yeah, and how much are you enjoying, obviously, your first season in the EFL? Obviously, you dipped back into the National League setup before, but how much have you been enjoying sort of being around the Football League setup?
Yeah, it's been really good, to be fair. It's been really good.
Two things going on here, haven't we? A lawnmower and a bum behind us.
Yeah. Yeah, what way to put me off. Yeah, really enjoyable being back in the Football League. I remember saying in my interview with you when I first signed that over the last few years, it was always my goal to get back into league football. So, yeah, I'm taking it every day as it comes, and you know, I don't take this opportunity lightly, and I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, I'll keep working hard in the gym, on the pitch, and yeah, just whenever I get my opportunity, I'm sure I'll take it.
Brilliant. Obviously, you went out on loan with the previous gaffer, and now you've got a new gaffer. What are the sort of main differences you've noticed since you've come back?
To be fair, not much. I mean, they've obviously got their different ways of playing, but it's quite similar. To be fair. They've both shown good faith in me as well, which is good. But yeah, not too much. They're both really positive. They want to push the club up the table, and I've really enjoyed working under both of them. Obviously more under the new gaffer as well. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable. Really enjoyable.
Yeah, and the differences between National League football and stepping up to League One, is it that big a step, or?
Yeah, it is. To be fair, I mean, I've always asked people actually that have played higher up. Even last year when I was playing non-league, I've always asked them what the biggest differences are. To be honest, I think non-league nowadays has gotten so much. There's so many good players in non-league. I think that's why you see so many people take the step up. So it's not too much of a big difference, to be honest. I think the quality does go up. People are a lot fitter in this league, but it doesn't take away the fact from non-league is really good. National League South. There's some really good players in there, so it hasn't been too much of a big difference. But yeah, every level is good, to be fair.
Yeah, and what would you say to any young footballer who's at a pro club who's looking to get some minutes? I suppose you're a prime example of how it can work for you going out on loan to a non-league club.
Yeah, it's just to keep working hard, and I think to be fair, I had a question like this the other day and I answered it. So for me, I think it's just attitude and just discipline. I think as a young player, you can have so many things thrown your way, whether it's managers not liking you, or you know, you have your social life as well growing up. I think you just have to stay disciplined, keep working hard, doing your extra work, and yeah, just staying with good attitude, and hopefully you get your opportunity. And when your opportunity does come, you just got to take it with both hands. Yeah,
and I think you're quite big on social media, aren't you, as well? Yeah. How much do you enjoy that, and how important is that to you?
It's really good. It's really good. I've been doing it over the last few years. I started in lockdown, and yeah, I do get quite a lot of questions from young players actually asking me loads of questions and stuff like that. But I think some people forget I'm a young player myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm quite mature for my age, and to be fair, I've been in football for over 4 years now in the men's game. So a lot has happened in that time. I feel like I'm actually quite experienced already.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've still got so many more years left, but I don't have all the answers. But I try my best. I try to help as many people as possible.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.